Hello and welcome to City University of Seattle's Nonprofit Leadership Program. This presentation goes over the basics of the program and will highlight some key features. I'm Dr. Joel Domingo, Associate Professor and Associate Program Director here at City University of Seattle. I oversee the Nonprofit Leadership Program, as well oversee the higher education and specialized study concentrations for the school. I'm a longtime faculty member and administrator, having served at several universities, and have taught students from the bachelor's degree all the way up to the doctoral degree. I currently serve on several nonprofit boards and have extensive experience in the field. The nonprofit boards that I serve on range from education, the arts, to social service organizations, to even political advocacy organizations. The goal of this presentation is to give you a better idea of the nonprofit leadership program here at City U and answer any questions that you might have. A nonprofit organization, simply defined, is any organization that does not make a profit from its products or services. In general, they've been defined as serving the common good and are very diverse. In fact, nonprofit organizations encompass a wide scope and swath of different industries. They range from education, the arts, social and human services, foundations, healthcare organizations, international agencies and relief organizations, environmental agencies, even religious and advocacy organizations. There's a continuing growth in the sector, and in the United States alone, it's a $4.8 trillion industry, if you will. In fact, 1.4 million nonprofit organizations were registered in the United States in the past year. Nonprofit organizations alone account for 9.2% of all salaries and wages in the United States. And a recent study was done to explore volunteerism in America, and of that, 25% of Americans said they volunteered at some point for a nonprofit organization. Research done by Stanford University and the Bridgespan Group, which is a well-known nonprofit consultancy, explored the number one organizational concern posed by nonprofit leaders. In their research, they asked several boards and CEOs, what's the biggest concern going into the future? And the majority of them responded with new leaders. We need new leaders in nonprofit organizations. So there's a leadership gap. And we know from research that leadership is an essential component of successful nonprofit organizations. There are decision-making capacities that leaders need to make, strategic planning, the ability to develop others, stakeholder relationships, all important parts of a leader's job within a nonprofit organization. So why a nonprofit degree as opposed to a specific degree like finance, management, or even accounting? The reason why is simple, because nonprofit leadership is broad and encompasses a whole field of knowledge, including legal, organizational, fundraising, volunteer management, financial management, and even program evaluation. A nonprofit degree helps a student become a better communicator and leader for any nonprofit organization. A nonprofit degree also helps increase one's value to a nonprofit organization if they're already in one as well. Now, it's one thing to know nonprofit leadership theory, and it's another to actually have the skills in leadership within a nonprofit organization. Here at City University, the Nonprofit Leadership Program can be found in two different areas. The first is within the master's degree, and we offer a Master's of Arts in Nonprofit Leadership. The other is in the doctoral program, in which the Nonprofit Leadership Program is embedded in the EDD in Applied Leadership Specialized Study Concentration. For the purposes of this presentation, I'm just going to focus on the master's degree, because in the master's degree, you can get a sense for the overall program. In the master's degree, the goal is to help students apply whole systems thinking and strategic planning to help impact their decision making in organizations. It's to help students practice interpersonal skills, to help them motivate individuals all across the organization, The master's degree helps students work collaboratively to make ethically, socially, and environmentally responsible decisions. And the master's degree here at City University helps students understand and navigate the organizational politics within organizations. One of the nice features of the nonprofit program here at City University is its convenience. It's 100% online and taught by practitioners and leaders in the field. In addition, if students have experience in the nonprofit sector, they have the ability to demonstrate that knowledge and do so for credit, and thus shorten the length of time to complete their program. The goal for all this is to have students enroll in our January 2016 start. I'll talk more about that later. So who does this nonprofit program appeal to? In general, the program appeals to those who are already associated with a nonprofit organization and want to be more involved. For example, maybe it's a volunteer at an organization or a board member that wants to increase their knowledge. Perhaps they're already working in nonprofit organizations and they want to grow in the organization and perhaps be a key member of the senior leadership team. The program also appeals to those who are even just exploring the nonprofit world for the first time and want to learn more. This program gives a lot of great information for those who have never been in the nonprofit field, and to give them the confidence and capability and skills to be able to be successful. Finally, the program appeals to those who want to grow in their leadership capacity in general. Now, nonprofit organizations have a language all to themselves, and the following are some key words or phrases that are generally found in the nonprofit world. If you're an advisor, I encourage you to listen for these words and probe more with prospective students. Words like social sector, third sector, community, social impact, stewardship, policy, volunteers, collective impact, grassroots or grass tops, stakeholders, outcomes, philanthropy, common good, and collaboration. These are just some of the words found in the nonprofit sector. So listen for these, and these might help you help students decipher where they want to go in a degree program. So here are some key objectives of the overall nonprofit program. The first is to evaluate current challenges and future trends of nonprofit leadership. It's to understand what's going to be there in the future for nonprofit organizations. The second objective is to apply research and data-based decision making to solve fundraising challenges. Where are the monies? How do you fundraise? How do you write a grant? Those are some things we do in the program. Another is to know the importance of governance and organizational leadership. Again, leadership is critical, and knowing how to navigate the board issues, the staff issues, how do you get maximum efficiency and maximum buy-in and input from your volunteers? Finally, this program helps understand issues around the nonprofit tax structures, how to manage the funds one gets, how to manage the organization from a fiduciary standpoint. Now, the benefits to the program are many. The first is that it's comprehensive and builds upon a student's current understanding of a nonprofit organization. For students who have never been in a nonprofit organization, it's a great introduction to the field. So no matter where a student starts from, it's going to be beneficial. The other, that it's grounded. A lot of nonprofit programs are short, you learn about the skill, and good luck. Our nonprofit leadership program is grounded in leadership theory. Because we are the School of Applied Leadership, we see everything through a lens of leadership, and therefore we want to help students develop those leadership capacities so that they can be successful. Finally, it's practical. It's not just theoretical, but the program helps develop the skills in becoming and being a better leader. So let's take a look at the course descriptions. MAL 561, Leadership in the Nonprofit Sector. This course is what I would consider the nuts and bolts of nonprofit leadership. It's the 101, the introductory course, because no matter if you've been in a nonprofit organization or not, this is a great and comprehensive overview of the field. The course looks at the role of boards, managing volunteers, marketing and fundraising, and even strategic planning. The emphasis here in this course is what does it mean to be a leader in the nonprofit sector? We'll go over different aspects of the nonprofit field and the nonprofit organization, but most importantly, how do you as a leader fit in and how do you develop your leadership capacity? MAL 563, Philanthropy and Strategic Fund Development. This is the fundraising course in the program. The course is great because we look at fundraising theory and look at fundraising from multiple perspectives. We look at it also from an ethical perspective. What does it mean to have an ethical obligation for fundraising? We'll look at sources of donations and key aspects of acquiring and developing funds and then overall fundraising process for an organization. Once again, leadership. What does it mean to be a leader in an organization at a time when funds are needed? MAL 566, Board Governance and Leadership. This course looks at the dynamics of the board, staff, and volunteer relationship. What does it mean to be a board member? What is governance like? Is there a difference between a founding board and a governing board? How do you maximize the effectiveness of volunteers? We'll look at these as well as other issues in this class. Finally, MAL 568, Financial Management and Nonprofit Organizations. This course is essentially a financial management course specifically for nonprofit organizations. The emphasis on this course will be to understand the overall financial system and how it applies specific to nonprofit organizations. There's a key difference between for-profit and nonprofit organizations. And so we'll take a look at the financial nuances, including cash management, budgeting, banking, financial reporting, borrowing, and risk management. So that's the nonprofit program here at City University of Seattle. What I want to talk about right now is the future opportunities and the opportunity for students to get a jump start if they're interested in the program. I mentioned earlier that if students come into the program with extensive knowledge in the field or have experience in the field, they can demonstrate their knowledge of the program by taking what's known as a challenge. They can get credit through a course challenge of MAL 561, which is the first course, Leadership in the Nonprofit Sector, and therefore not need to take that course and just go ahead and start with 563. We're also working on future opportunities for program exposure, such as having webinars, having all-day seminars, and outreach through social media. So if you have any other ideas, please feel free to let me know. Thanks for listening to this presentation. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. My contact information is below, and once again, thank you for listening.